Right, this really isn't funny. So I did a live Facebook feed showing people how to use a Ouija board. There's the Ouija board. And I went through the whole procedure about, the opening procedure, the closing procedure. I gave an example by calling up someone. Happens to be a nan of mine. And she's a bit of a troublemaker. Anyway, I did the video and I forgot to close the session. Put it that way. I fucking forgot to close the session. I had to do another talk immediately afterwards, all about not magic. What happens? Well, my speech, the notes that I took to give the talk, completely gone. I haven't moved from this bloody room all day. Is gone. I tried doing the audio on the laptop, that's not worked. I tried doing the audio on the phone and the video on the phone, that hasn't worked. And then I closed the session down. I know she's still here because I could feel it. Crying out loud. So what I've decided to do is get rid of Granny. In a rather rude way. She's pissed off because I haven't talked to her for ages. And to be honest with you, she used to get this way before she died. If I didn't go and visit her every Tuesday, she'd get pissy. So it's been a little while and she doesn't like the fact that I haven't been talking to her. So she's decided to start interfering. She was always terrible with technology when she was alive, and it seems like she's putting that uselessness with technology to good use by messing everything up when she's dead. There we go. Maybe some of you have got a grandmother like this. Now, she's gotten rid of now. I've gotten rid of her. I'm sure she'll forgive me, but seriously, I'm not in the fucking mood. So, if I talk to you about a simple method that we like, and we sell a lot of these, and they are smudge sticks. Everyone likes a smudge stick. I thought I'd crack this out and give it a go because we've got so many of them here. And I thought, well, if I do it, I can then show you guys how to actually use them because they're super popular. There are better methods at the end of the day, but a lot of people use rosemary smudge sticks. Sage smudge sticks, but in terms of where a lot of those come from, it's not particularly great. We make our own out of rosemary. We use rosemary smudge sticks. So essentially all you have to do, if I can put that there without it falling, is just get something to put it in. Take a lighter. This lighter I had to root around for because the lighter that I normally use, that I always put back in the same place, went missing. So I had to go and scrounge this from somewhere. You just literally light the end of it and it will burn like that. And then what you do is you take this, starting, if we're just doing this one room, then we'll just do this one room. You can see it wafting. So waft it around, making sure that you work around the room, and we're going to get it out of the window. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going around all of the room. You can see the smoke until it gets to the window, and we will be putting out the window and closing it. Then what we'll do is we'll pop it back in here, back in this. Yes, I like to pop it down. Now some people use a smudge bowl. To be honest with you, I'm not spending money on buying a smudging bowl when I've simply got a load of jars. I mean, what's the point in buying? I mean, worst comes to the worst. I mean, I've got a whole load of pestle and mortars. I could just use a pestle and mortar, but I tend to just use the jar, and that is one of those things which they're quite useful actually to keep on hand. Just make sure you put them out, and then that goes inside my cunning man's cabinet. So at the bottom, if you can see there, and to clip it in there like that. So we always have one, and some matches and stuff like that inside the cabinet. So there we go. Oh, feeling a bit more relaxed now because I can feel that there's nothing else there, nothing else around in the room to bother me. So I can put my feet up, and I guess we'll talk a little bit about smudging, because what's the point? So, smudging's one of those things that a lot of actual witches hate. They hate it. They look down on people who smudge and use smudge sticks. Now, if I'm honest with you, if you're either buying your smudge sticks from us, of course I don't care. If you're making smudge sticks and you're going to use them, I don't have a problem with it. At the end of the day, you can kind of see how they've caught on. They are useful. They're compact little things that you can use and you can put together and you can make for free, because the rosemary that we use grows in the garden. So, you know, why wouldn't I use something out of the garden that I can just go and pick and dry out, as opposed to, like, you know, other forms. And people it just makes sense. I mean, spending a 2-minute conversation talking to someone about how a smudge stick works, and then you don't even need to show them how it works. If you put a smudge stick on someone's house because they've got a problem in their house and something weird's going on, put a smudge stick in their hand. Just say, open all the windows, and literally walk through the house one room at a time, starting with the innermost part of the house and spreading outwards. Obviously it would depend on the layout of your house, but you know, you're literally going through and the smoke dispersing things. Now, in terms of why we use rosemary, we have bonded with rosemary, both me and Chris, and as a company we use quite a lot of rosemary. So we have rosemary on hand, we get it sustainably. Obviously we work with it and we really feel it's a protective and banishment energy. It does have the correspondence stereotypically in, you know, amongst the magical community as being something that's quite protective. A lot of people use sage. The problem with sage is that, yes, we actually do grow some sage. We grow common sage. I don't really like sage. It smells not particularly nice when it's burnt. And a lot of the sage smudge sticks that you would buy on the internet aren't sourced in a particularly decent way, to be honest with you. I don't recommend it. I think that if you're going to use a smudge stick, I think you should make it yourself. Putting and infusing that energy into something that you grow or cultivate, because you don't necessarily have to make it out of rosemary, of course. You would make it out of something that has the connotations to you of protection and banishment, something that maybe grows nearby. Mugwort's a particularly popular one. We don't tend to use mugwort ones just because we've opted for rosemary. Some people will make, and we've done classes before on making smudge sticks where people can bond with the herbs and the plants in their dried out form and then select things that they feel drawn to, and they'll more often than not, tend to pick more than one thing. So sometimes we'll create these little smudge sticks. Probably get another one out for you, because they are simple. I mean, at the end of the day, it's dried herbs with a string wrapped around it. You light the end and then you put it out, you know. One of these tends to last an awful long time. They're great for if you want to get rid of that kind of build-up of energy. It doesn't have to be necessarily used for spirits. It's one of those things which we do sell quite a lot of them, because again, if you've got a beginner, you've got someone that's not quite sure, and so many people come and say, oh, there's something in my house, blah de blah de blah, and you don't need to start setting them up with complex rituals and stuff like that when you could just sell them a £5 smudge stick. But yeah, I mean, people will combine them with different things. People have put lavender in them. You've got some, when not magic factors in, you could tie knots in it as well. You know, there's lots of things that you can really add to the smudge stick. I don't like I don't like to look down on it as a practice, and okay, it might not be the first thing I would jump to, um, but at the end of the day, I mean, things can sometimes evolve and become popular just because they're simple and they work. And the smudge stick is one of those things that it's a simple practice that does work. And as long as you understand how it works and you're not necessarily creating them in a way that negatively impacts the environment, then I say go for it. I mean, yeah, I know a lot of traditional crafters don't like them, but I mean, I've just used one, it works. I made it myself, you know, I didn't buy it from the internet, but, you know, I don't know, it's been a long day. I think I'm going to tune out now. So basically, I had to reshoot all of the, I basically, because it was a live feed that I did about the Ouija board, and then I mistakenly invited Granny in as an example. She just popped into my mind, and then all of a sudden shit goes down. And then between the Ouija board live feed and then a live feed I was doing on Not Magic, it just all went a little bit crazy. I think I did get the live feed going in the Witchcraft Live Facebook group, but then like it just wasn't working. It kept buffering, the sound was not working, so I had to cancel that. So at the moment I'm just reshooting the video and I'm just gonna upload it, and I can feel in the room now that everything's back to normal. I don't know about the Ouija board live feed. I will have to watch that just to make sure everything, like the sound didn't cut out and that. But what I might do is, well, that's going to be left. If you want to watch the video, you can go in Witchcraft Live. Witchcraft Live is a Facebook group we set up for beginners, and I do explain how to use a Ouija board properly in the video. It's just the fact that I got a little bit carried away with talking as opposed to paying attention to what I was doing. It didn't help that I whipped a pendulum out near the end and didn't bother closing any of that down, but there we go. I mean, even professionals make mistakes every now and again. And it's been a busy couple of days. I've just been doing so much. I've been trying to do all these live feeds on Facebook, teaching. I've been trying to do consultations with clients, and I've been trying to do YouTube videos, and I've been trying to write. And then there's also the product, the general stuff that we have to do with the Foff Witchcraft company stuff. It's all getting a little bit too much. So now I'm rambling anyway. So yeah, if you're a beginner and you're interested in learning the basics of witchcraft and magic and you're on Facebook, then definitely go and join the Witchcraft Live Facebook group. Now, if you're an advanced practitioner or an intermediate practitioner, or you have some experience, we've created one just for you as well. So we have a no holds barred witchcraft group on Facebook, which if we've got people that are already practicing and they're just going about their business, then we tend to put them in there, because I have noticed throughout my many years is that people that are good at magic and have a lot of experience with it and know what they're doing don't like being bombarded with really boring basic questions all the time. They want to talk about more complex things. So we tried to group these people together and set up a little group for them, which we ended up calling No Holds Barred Witchcraft. And then we found that obviously you've got to put something for the beginners. So we put on Witchcraft Live, a Facebook group for beginners. On that, I try to do a live video every day, whereby I talk about a different subject and everything's broken into units. So like unit 1 is super basic witchcraft, where there's a video on each kind of element of basic witchcraft, anything from Ouija boards to doctrine of signature, sympathetic magic, that sort of thing. But anyway, I'm rambling now, so I might as well say, if you're still watching, thanks for watching, but don't make the same mistake I did obviously, whenever you do a ritual, it should have a beginning, middle, and end. As I said in the video, I just forgot to put the end in and close the ritual. So things are lingered. Don't leave a doorway open unless you mean to. Anyway, bye.